Hello, and welcome to another edition of Ask Ben W., the video series where I get to tackle one question every time that I turn on the record button. Today, I am not walking to my office. I'm already in my office, but I thought it was important enough to take a little time to reflect about something that happened earlier today, and I think it established a really strong question for myself as well as for hopefully you as you watch this. I am using a very brand new tool. It is a selfie stick that I received for volunteering at the ISTE conference in Philadelphia this past summer. And so I wanted to make use of the tools. But the question that I wanted to ask was based upon doing some professional learning earlier today, where things did not necessarily go according to plan. And so the question that I'd like to answer is, what do you do when things don't go according to plan in professional learning? What do you do when things break down? And I think it's important to sort of consider that question and think about the ways in which we might come back from that. So in the session, I was leading some folks through an activity where we were sort of understanding how to use the swivel, the little robot that lets you sort of see yourself within a video and capture your practice in the classroom, and it'll follow you around the classroom. And I found that to be something that we use a whole bunch here in Denver Public Schools, the little robot that does that, and you can put an iPad or an iPhone directly onto it and it'll swivel around to meet you. And that's a really good, effective tool, but it's only effective if you know how to use it. It's only effective if you're actually taking part in the capture of that practice. And so through this activity, we went through and I wanted to make sure everybody understood how and what that would look like. How do you turn it on? How do you use it? How do you capture? What should you capture? But we got bogged down in the tools. We got bogged down in the technology because I didn't realize it, but my iPad was out of juice, and that screen is a nice size, the iPad mini even. So I was resorting to use my phone. And I wanted to AirPlay my phone onto the screen so that people could see it. But I wasn't able to do that because I had the new version of iOS 9 on my phone, and it doesn't let you actually do screen AirPlaying from your phone to the computer because they have disabled that feature, or it's coming back, or however they're going to do that. But it was a problem, and essentially I was having to show people on my little phone screen what it could look like or should look like. And that was not okay. It was not a good use of the tools, and it didn't really help. And so there was a lot of me trying to figure out how do I find my entry point? How do I figure out what the next move is here so that these teachers will get what they need out of the session, and that they will be able to go on and to record their own videos. We had them, take a look at recording their videos and then responding to a Google Classroom post or assignment with those videos, and that was sort of the goal of the activity. And so one of the things that I try and do is to break things down and make them simpler. So when I am struggling or the technology isn't working, it's breaking things down into smaller steps. And so one of the things that I tend to do is, all right, so let's get both lights to turn green. That was something that was like a really simple step. Let's make sure that you have your Google account so that you can log in. Let's make sure that you have the ability to export your video to YouTube, right? And so, whoops, I got a little alert here. I'm gonna close that. And so I think that those things, breaking it down, making it smaller, are really valuable, but they're not enough. And I always struggle with this point of knowing that there's something more I should be doing, but then not being able to execute on that. And I think that actually, from my own reflection, is the moment where I need to pause and I need to say, the execution here is not going to be strong enough. We need to split up and to talk and answer a question. Or we need to take a look and have you guys test out how this is going to look on your own device. We need to get everybody to pull out their device and to make sure that they can log in. I need to, rather than sort of trying to chug through that activity and to say, oh, the things that I wanted to do aren't going to be able to work, I need to move on from there. And so based upon that, I would like to sort of reflect and make sure that when that arises the next time, when a teacher has or I should say, when I am struggling with a specific activity, I need to take a step back, assess, rather than trying to chug through. I need to continue to break things down and make them simpler, but that's not going to be enough. And so while this is a question for me, and it's one that I will continue to sort of discover and decipher and think about, I also wonder how you deal with that. How do you deal with it when either the tech breaks or your lesson is not going the way that it needs to, and you need to sort of take a step back? What do you do? What are your coping mechanisms? How do you sort of find a way forward? The result of the session was still very good. The outcomes were still strong. It just wasn't the session that they needed. And we needed to get further along, or perhaps deeper, I would say, deeper into an understanding and knowledge of why they were using these tools, how to use them, and thinking about the reflective practice component rather than like getting bogged down in, oh, even the facilitator can't get this to work the way he wants it to. And so that is important. So if you have any ideas, do let me know. And if you want to ask your own question to me, use the hashtag AskBenW. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and any questions that you would like to ask. And I'll try and be walking the next time. I'm trying to decide if walking with a selfie stick is going to be appropriate or not. I have not made that decision as of yet. So we'll just have to see.